Hey comic fans, you've watched the movies, you've read the stories. Maybe you've debated for hours over who's stronger or who should have lived. But today, we're not testing your fandom, we're testing your comic wisdom. Because this isn't about your strength, not your speed. It's about your ability to think like a hero. You're about to face 5 impossible choices, the kind only comic book legends ever deal with. Life or death, love or duty, one shot to do what's right. Each scenario is based on a real comic storyline, and after every question, we'll reveal what actually happened and what it cost. So grab a pen, or just keep scoring your head, because only 2% of fans pass this superhero IQ test. And the first one starts now. You're Spider-Man. It's just another evening in New York until everything starts falling apart. A runaway train is flying off the rails. You hear the screech of metal and the screams of passengers. Meanwhile, MJ, the person you love most, is falling from a collapsing bridge. You see her red hair flipping through the air as she drops into the void. And just behind you, the Green Goblin is laughing. He's escaping with a stolen nuclear device. One detonation and the city is gone. You have one web shot left. That's it. No backup, no second chance. So what do? Save MJ from the fall? Stop the train and save hundreds of strangers? Chase Goblin before he disappears with the bomb? Pause now. Comment your answer, A, B, or C, and tell us why. What would a real hero do?
What else can I call it? Everything Spider-Man touches comes to ruin.
Here's what happened in the comics. In the classic story, The Night Gwen Stacy died, Spider-Man faced almost the same scenario. A woman he loved was thrown from a bridge. He fired a web to catch her midair, and it worked. But the sudden stop snapped her neck. Gwen died anyway. That moment haunted Peter forever. Later, in stories like Spider-Man 2, he had to make impossible train rescues and face villains who threatened entire cities. But the pain of that fall never left him. So if you chose A, you might save her. Or you might live with the guilt of doing too little, too late. If you chose B, you'd carry the weight of losing the one person who believed in you. And if you chose C, you might save the city, but lose everything else. That's the price of power. Now, you're Batman. It's midnight in Gotham. The city is barely breathing, and the worst night of your life is about to begin. 3 things happen at once. First, Robin is missing. A note from the Joker is found in your cave. No location, just 6 words. Let's see who you love more. Second, the GCPD reports bombs planted across downtown, set to go off in 30 minutes. Thousands of lives are at risk. And third, Alfred, your oldest friend, your last family. He's been attacked, and he's dying in the Batcave. You only have minutes to stabilize him. You can only pick one. Do you go after Robin and stop the Joker's madness? Do you save the city and disarm the bombs? Or do you stay with Alfred and let him know he's not alone in his final hour? Pause now. Comment your answer A, B, or C and tell us why. What would you do as the Bat? Here's what happened in the comics. In the iconic story, A Death in the Family, Batman did go after Robin, Jason Todd, but he was too late. The Joker had already beaten him with a crowbar and planted the bomb. Batman found the rubble. He dug through it with shaking hands and cradled what was left of his partner. In other arcs, like War Games and City of Bane, Bruce chose to protect Gotham over personal ties, but the cost was always brutal. Relationships shattered, friends buried. If you chose A, you might find Robin in time, or you might repeat Batman's greatest failure. If you chose B, you'd save the most lives, but sacrifice your family. And if you chose C, you'd hold Alfred's hand in his final hour, but the city and Robin might not survive the night. This is what it means. to wear the cowl. Now, step into the suit. You're Tony Stark, genius, billionaire, but right now, none of that matters. You've just escaped a brutal fight. Your armor is cracked. Your arc reactor is down to 9%. And then, 3 calls come in, all at once. First, Pepper Potts is trapped inside a burning Stark Industries building. The flames are rising. No one else can reach her. Second, Ultron has hijacked a military satellite. In 6 minutes, it will fire on New York. And third, a secure message from Wakanda. They've developed a new arc core that could recharge your suit instantly, but it's 200 miles away. You have just enough power for one mission. So what do? Save Pepper, fight Ultron, or fly off and recharge and prepare for the bigger battle? Choose fast. Comment your answer A, B, or C and tell us why. What would you do? Here's what happened in the comics. In Iron Man Extremis, Tony faced a threat he couldn't punch his way through. His tech was outdated, his power fading, so he took a risk. He injected himself with a dangerous biotech serum, a gamble that nearly killed him, but saved the future. And in Infinity War, when the stakes were cosmic, he flew into space to face Thanos, knowing he might never come back. So what's the right move? If you chose A, you saved someone you love, but Ultron's satellite may have killed millions. If you chose B, you fought the threat head-on, like Tony always does. But with only 9% power, you might not survive the fight. And if you chose C, you retreated, you gambled, but you may return strong enough to save everyone. That's what Iron Man always did best. Not just react, but calculate, evolve, and survive.
Iron Man.
Now, you're Logan, the Wolverine. You've fought in wars, you've lost friends, you've healed from everything except guilt. But today's choice isn't about survival. It's about the woman you love and the monster she's becoming. Jean Grey is changing. Her powers are spiking beyond control. The Phoenix Force is awakening, cosmic, godlike, unstoppable. Xavier warns, if she fully transforms, planets will burn, billions will die. Right now, Jean is unconscious, vulnerable, and still human. You have one moment, one chance. Kill her now and save the galaxy. Try to reach her and pull her back, or walk away and let the universe decide. What would you do? Comment your answer A, B, or C. Here's what happened in the comics. In the legendary comic The Dark Phoenix Saga, Logan stood over Jean in this exact moment. His claws were out, his hands shook. He looked at her face, remembered their memories, and couldn't do it. He chose love. He chose hope. He let her live. But Jean did become Dark Phoenix. She destroyed entire worlds. And in the end, she took her own life to stop the destruction. If you chose A, you'd be a soldier, cold, calculated, but you might save countless lives. If you chose B, like Logan did, you chose love, you chose faith, but it came with a cost. And if you chose C, you left her fate to someone else. And sometimes that's the worst choice of all. Heroes aren't always clean. Sometimes the right choice hurts the most. Now, you're Dr. Stephen Strange, master of the mystic arts, defender of reality. But tonight, you're not here to fight. You're here to watch. Thanos is coming. The world is crumbling. And with the Time Stone, you peer into the future, again and again, watching millions of timelines. 14,605 possible outcomes. And in only one, you win. But there's a catch. In that one victorious future, Tony Stark must die. You've seen it, you feel it, but right now, in the heat of battle, Tony turns to you and asks, "Is this the one?" You could tell him, you could lie, you could change it all. So what do you do? Tell Tony the truth and let fate unfold? Lie and risk everything for a different ending? Or try to create a new timeline and face unknown consequences? Pause here, choose your path. A, B, or C. Comment below. Here's what happened in the comics. In Avengers: Infinity War, Doctor Strange did exactly this. He saw every outcome. He saw the deaths, the failures. And when Tony looked into his eyes, Strange simply held up one finger. One. He didn't explain. He didn't warn. And in Endgame, Tony sacrificed himself to stop Thanos. Strange chose not to change fate, because in every other timeline, they lost. If you chose A, you accepted destiny, like Strange did. If you chose B, you risked billions for one man's life, brave but dangerous. And if you chose C, you tried to outsmart time itself, a gamble even Strange knew not to take. Sometimes being a hero means saying nothing and letting the pain come anyway, because that's the only way everyone else lives.
Why would you do that? We're in the end game now.
So, how many did you get right? There were no easy choices, no perfect answers, because being a hero isn't about super strength or fancy tech. It's about decisions, ones that cost you sleep or people you love. If you made just one right choice, or maybe none at all, that's okay. It means you lead with your heart, and sometimes that's exactly what the world needs most. If you got 2 or 3 right, you're on your way. You think fast, feel deep, and you're learning what it really takes to be a hero. But if you got 4, or even all 5 right, then you don't just read comics, you understand them. You think like Strange, choose like Batman, and carry pain like Logan. But the real question is, which choice haunted you the most? Was it letting Jean go? Letting Alfred die? Watching MJ fall? Tell us in the comments. And if even one of those choices stayed with you, if it made you stop, breathe, or wonder what you would have done, then maybe you belong here. Hit that subscribe button, not just for more questions, but for the kind of stories that make you feel something. Wait until part 2, because next time you'll face Scarlet Witch, Deadpool, Captain America, and the choices only get harder.